One thing people trying to use statistics to justify the racism never seem to get is, they want to talk about how practical it is. But, it's not practical when you have a 10 or 20 or 30% prevalency of something in a group to treat the whole group as though they were guilty of that thing. That's how you create resentment. That's how you create a police state. Right? All criminals are human, but does that mean you want a police state and we'll just profile you if you're a human, then you'll be asked to pull over and answer to the authority just because you're a human, because some of the humans are criminals? Would you resent that? If you were an innocent person, would you resent that? Would you, if you were a person inclined to be a good citizen, would that change you and make you want to fight against this oppression of the police state that you're in? What about those ramifications? Why are those ramifications not important? Let me tell you, if you find a statistical truth, then it is a hint at something. But it really has to be 100% before you are sure that you have to find the cause. I mean, like 100% of humans need to breathe oxygen. That's a good hint to go find out why. Look at the lungs, look at human physiology and figure out why they need oxygen. Okay, and then once you figure out that reason, you'll really understand if people need oxygen. Maybe there's some other gas they could do in its place or this kind of thing. Once you look at the biology, maybe you'll exclude that. But when there's just a partial tendency, then you still need to go look at the real cause. And you don't want to start a police state to try to address that result. You want to try to address the cause. So for example, you find a community where there's a lot of domestic abuse, then you should start domestic abuse education in that group. And once you do that, you know what? You won't do it just in the group with the high percentage. You'll do the education in the group with the low percentage too. Why wouldn't you go to the community with just 5% of this problem and teach them as well? Because see, that's not oppressive to the individuals that are not guilty of that. They'll do well in those classes. They'll help teach everybody else, and they'll learn a little bit about human nature. And that's not oppressive. But you're going to pull people over and profile them, keep them off planes and all this bullshit. That's oppressive. That's not going to go. That's not sustainable. People aren't going to put up with that. People have a right to expect to be more free than that. They'll demand their right to be more free, and I'll applaud that because they ought to try to be more free.